America is not the only nation having an immigration slash migrant slash refugee issue. Recently, Sweden offered third world migrants up to $34,000 a piece to self-deport. Self-deport. In other words, voluntarily go back to your country of origin or go somewhere. And I said a piece. They didn't say a piece. They said up to 34,000. So that could be per person and per family instead of a piece. Okay, so they are vowing to deport those who are in Sweden illegally. All right, so Sweden is also doing a complete phase out of permanent residence permits, including limits of exceptionally distressing circumstances permits. In other words, you're coming into to Sweden as a result of a war in your country, starvation, disease, or just extreme poverty. They are extremely limiting your ability to do so. So the Swedish government is calling this a paradigm shift to decades of leniency that they have had towards immigration. So also they're seeking a reduction in crime that has grown as a result of these people coming into their country. An anti-immigrant wing has specifically came to power in the government and called for the removal of migrants, especially the ones who they feel are not properly integrating into Swedish society. In other words, they have cultural norms that are not acceptable and are not prominent to Sweden or the Swedish people, such as, for an example, these people that are coming into our country who eat cats and dogs. To us, that's egregious. Those are our pets. We look at them as our family, and then you got these weird people coming into the country who they'll take your pet off the street or take your pet from your maybe even from your yard, kill it and eat it. We don't do that. So those are people who refuse to confine to basic cultural norms, and these are the people that Sweden wants to get rid of. The main countries being targeted in this self-deport movement and this removal of illegal immigrants come from Yugoslavia, Syria, Afghanistan, Somalia, Iran, and Iraq. Now, if you notice anything, most of those countries are Muslim, if not all of them. So, Migration Minister of Sweden, Johan, announced the policy amid the right-wing bloc taking over government last week, including immigration wing or anti-immigration other groups that are rising in the country. So like I said, a lot of these other countries are closing their doors and deporting and suggesting that encouraging people to go back to their home, their own domiciles in not only Sweden, but it's happening in South Africa, and it's happening in Israel, and it's happening other places. But here in America, we're opening our doors. Everybody else around the world, they're closing their door, and we're opening ours. I have now, you have to be compassionate when people are suffering. I understand that, but these countries have been quote unquote suffering for decades. There seems to be no change in their country's conditions, and the people are constantly immigrating across other people's borders to find better ways of life. And another thing that's a problem with these other people is that, especially in Muslim and a lot of African countries. Now I'm gonna say, well, you know what? I'm just gonna say, in some, I really didn't want to specify because I don't want to. Well, it's just the truth. In some African countries, in some African Muslim countries, they need to get a hold of their population. It doesn't make any sense to allow your population to grow beyond your ability to feed them and provide resources for them, like education and jobs and shelter. You're overpopulated. You need to encourage birth control and women's reproductive rights, because you cannot take care of your current population. And then you want to allow or make, you know, other people take in the people that you aren't able to take care of, because you're not responsible in your country's reproduction rate. I think that's unfair to other people who are responsible, who do have reproductive rights for women, who do encourage multiple forms of birth control. It's not fair to us. So this should be common sense, but Muslim countries, well, a lot of them oppress women. They don't give them the same humanity as they do the men, and a lot of them probably don't allow birth control. But that's not everybody else's problem. You're gonna have to, in the future, a lot of those countries, especially mentioned and over their way in the east, they're gonna have to do something because about their population and their ability to handle large populations, because other people around them, other countries, particularly the European countries that are close by that they can catch a boat to, are about to close their doors. Yeah, everybody restricting and we're opening our doors. All right, so we need to also, like I said, demand that. No, I'm not going to say no. We don't need to demand. We need to allow only people into our country that are not desperate to be here and come from countries that are culturally similar to ours. So there won't be such a cultural shock between amongst Americans, because these people are coming over here with these weird cultural norms, weird eating habits, weird religious practices, extreme religious practices, like a lot of Muslims do, like jihadist literature, and we just need to be around people who can integrate into society and become an American. So, thank y'all for listening to this video. Please like and share. Support the channel. Subscribe to my channel. I really would appreciate it, y'all. Peace. Have a good night.